Oh, yes, boys. Welcome back to another new Wednesdays. Tonight we have Tight Eyes.
What's going on?
And the lovely Peddler again.
Yo, yo, yo. So Tight Eyes is out of prison. Everyone wants to know he's out of prison. He's done his time. He spent, what, 2 weeks with Bubba picking up soap in the shower.
Yeah.
Just saying. Just saying.
I just got a surprise Discord message. Bear with me. Okay, boys. So the plan tonight is we are going to be discussing patch notes again from the past. This week's one is about the updates on the quest design, which was basically bringing in the super cool voiceovers to make it a little bit more immersive. Then we are going to be doing. Freiberg came up with a great idea to talk about what we as a company, and especially us three, want to do, what we think we should see implemented into the game. And we've got some ideas, but then we're going to sort of do a bit of back and forth from you guys in chat as well. And we're going to finish off with a bit of a Q&A. So over the last week, actually, I've had a few messages, again about the clan, again about what on earth the game's about, and things like that. Yeah, that's what's going on. While I just do a quick message. Nox is here as well. Yep, Spivs, Apex, Ped, Banana, boys. Dynasty even came in. Wicked. On another note, we have been smashing Crowfall this week. Unfortunately, these boys haven't joined me as much, but we have been smashing Crowfall as a community. And tonight, I've just heard, I wasn't there because we were setting this up, but I've heard that they've gone around and taken 3 forts in the game. So GG boys, if you're out playing Crowfall, I love you, making us proud. Over to you, Ped, for a moment, mate. I just need to, I can't multitask, remember.
I'm not playing Crowfall, remember? I'm like level 20.
I'm loving the t-shirt, by the way.
Yeah.
I need to get me one of those.
Still waiting for Greg to drop the hat for me, so then I can wear the t-shirt, the hoodie, and the hat.
I did get a
shorts.
I got a picture from Cal, because he bought one of our Pirate Gaming t-shirts, the fucking legend. And it came up, yeah. I think it was like, I thought they said, I can't fucking remember what the t-shirt was, but it looked amazing. And he sent me a selfie. I was like, yeah, boy. Fucking.
Oh, I want to see that now.
Wonderful. Yeah, really, really cool.
These are the same ones we were looking at the other night, right?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah. What's a big surprise? What, you got a surprise in your Discord?
Yeah.
That we're not allowed to know about?
It's just, yeah, exciting. I just can't multitask, boys. I just can't do it. The only thing I can do is like scream and shout while we're raid leading and have some fun.
I was gonna say, that's like, what did you expect, Ty? Like, how coordinated is Danneh when, you know, there's a raid going on? It's just big damage. That's all you hear. Big damage.
Yeah, big damage.
Big damage.
But it gets everybody coordinated in themselves. It gets them doing big damage, so it's alright.
All right. Should we just should we crack on with the
question,
the discussion? Yeah. So we're going straight into the quest design update. So, over the last few weeks, we have gone through, I believe, the main update back in February, wasn't it? Yeah. There was a big update where they pushed the time back. I can't remember when it was now. Blimey. Jeez. No, we started off in Reekwater. We went to Forge of Fury, didn't we?
This patch was 23rd of March. We're getting closer. We're 4 weeks behind now. 4 weeks behind.
Then crafting. Then the development update, which is what that video, the intro video is for. Then Empress of Ebonscale last week. Tonight we're on the updates on quest design plus our own little bits that we're talking about. And then yeah, next week will be the expeditions, and then the big one which we're all excited for recently was the PvP vision. So today is updates on quest design.
I haven't actually read these notes, to be honest with you. The quest design ones.
So I did do a little video on it. If you wanted to watch it,
I've watched it. What do you mean?
Video of it.
I'm your biggest fan, dude.
It's not like Danny to do a video on something, is it?
No.
In a nutshell, I believe what they're doing is trying to make it more. I guess the word that's been thrown around a lot is immersive, and making it a bit more. Well, yeah, immersive. Make yourself enjoy the environment more when you're talking to characters. Actually hear them and listen to them. But yeah, lots of voice acting been done over the last few months, I think.
Mumi's giving me
Giving you some stick in chat.
Yeah. Mumi, I watch all Dan's videos. What do you mean? Come on.
Danneh says, when is New World release? So the New World release is supposed to be in August 31st. And if you've pre-ordered the game, which I'm assuming you have, Danneh, because you're a legend, 20th of July, 21st of July, something like that. Yeah. I'm trying to pick out the important stuff from chat. There's nothing in there, boys. There's nothing.
No, another thing. Oh,
20th of July.
Yeah.
Thank you, Play New World. Closed beta, 20th of July.
Is that when a cap's coming? When a cap's coming?
Still wants his fucking cap.
That's all I care about is a baseball cap. Come on.
I've actually been seeing a few going around, but I don't think they're official.
Work harder, Greg. Work harder.
You got other people stealing the business on you, Greg?
Yeah, we saw it. That other stream. Who was it on the other stream where?
Don't say no names, babe. Come on.
Huzzah! All right, boys, let's jump into this little update. So what I'll do is I'm going to skip right down and let's watch the video first.
Right.
And then we can go through the quest notes, because this basically is what it's mainly about.
Whether
and I'll
you
shut
are new
up.
to Eternum or simply from another settlement, you are welcome to First Light.
It's almost a shame. I think the bears were about to accept me. Maybe.
Well, so far so good.
The difference that makes, the difference the voice acting makes is insane.
It's small, isn't it? But it's those. Yeah. The subconscious feeling. Like we're playing through. Thanks for the follows, guys. We're playing through Crowfall now, and everything that I interact with in this game reminds me of watching. And dealing with all these New World patch notes, and just this on its own. You know, there's no PvE content because there's no quest really in the game. Crowfall, so it doesn't count. But yeah, this is huge.
I'm lazy anyway when it comes to games like that have a lot of text in them. I don't bother reading them at all. I just spam whatever it is to get through it, the dialogue. But this, genuinely, so far, these clips here, the voice acting is really, really good in it. So I'm pretty sure I'll be listening to it.
Guys who've just joined, thank you. Welcome.
Hang on. Well, this is going to be recorded anyway. We've got that jotted down that Tight Eyes is lazy and he's going to spend all his time listening to the NPCs chat. So how's he going to be the first one to level 60? Who's got the best
see, Ped, no.
Cash money,
hold on a second now, because this is my excuse for when I don't reach max level. I was too busy listening to the beautiful dialogue in the game now, so that's why.
Yeah, excuses. Who's got the bets with you? I mean, there's going to be a lot of rich people in pirate gaming, and you're going to be poor.
I'm going to be the richest.
Yeah, no.
I will. It's okay.
Just a quick one, guys who've just joined. Thanks for joining us. This is our little New World session. Every Wednesday evening, we get together, we chat New World. We've been doing it for about 5 weeks now, right? Give or take.
This is number 6.
Right? Number 6, boys.
Yeah.
Number 6.
Number 6.
And we're going through everything we're going back from the past to the future with all the patch notes. We've gone over things like what we're doing as a company, what we're doing pre-launch, all that sort of stuff. So the plan tonight is, forgive me here, the plan tonight is we're going to discuss sort of the voiceover update, the quest update. Then we're going to go through, I think we're going to talk about the control capture video that was tweeted after the last patch notes update, because that was, I actually reposted it on Reddit and it got a lot of stick. People did not like the way it looked. So we'll talk about that because that's really controversial. And then we're going to talk about what we as a group want to see implemented into the game. It'd be great to hear what you guys want to see and hear as well. And then we'll go for a little Q&A. So again, people who haven't seen the game or know what the game is, we will answer any questions that you might have. But yeah, for now, we'll jump back into.
Did you guess? Did I miss? You know what I'm like. I haven't got any sound on your stream, so I don't know what's going on half the time.
Yeah,
or
no.
On my stream at most of the time. Did you get raided?
I believe
there were 45 people in here, and now there's 155.
I believe there's been a retweet.
Whoa!
From our main man Greg.
That's crazy town, isn't it?
Freiburg.
The power of the internet.
Freiburg with the 4 thoughts tonight on Crowful. Well done, boys. Well done, boys. All right. Fantastic. Oh, that's wonderful. It's really great to have the support as well. So I'll try and keep it swear friendly tonight. Keep reminding me, boys. I have a bad mouth.
Hang on. Is Reckless here as well? Oh, it's not May yet for Cap. As long as Reckless doesn't turn up, we'll be okay. Everything will stay in hand.
So anyway, let's crack on with this quest update. So,
whether you are new to Eternum or simply from another settlement, you are welcome to First Light.
We're trying to pull through information from it. You know what it's like. You see a new video and it's like, what else can I find from here? But
it's almost a shame.
I don't think they gave away too much.
The bears were about to accept me. Maybe.
Well, what do you think of our new camp?
New sounds.
Not much to look at yet, but as
the
Plato says, the beginning is the most important part of the work.
Just more stuff to immerse yourself in the game, isn't it?
This fort seems familiar somehow.
I think we all,
I don't know where this is from. I'd like to know if this is I don't know where this is from. Do you know what I mean? Like where Jonas is in the world and stuff.
I'd say it's since we played it anyway, there's probably quite a few more NPCs being added to the game.
Yeah, a bit more.
Yeah.
This time, you're actually going to have to go around reading all those books and things on the floor.
I think like one thing I want to do in this game is genuinely learn about more than just the combat and try and really, really understand the world and the concept and all that sort of stuff. But at the moment, I've been slacking. I haven't really read any of the lore or anything like that yet. Jonas' hut.
Been here before.
So that's it.
It's always a treat to see a new face.
Clip.
Whether you are new to Eternum
Looking
or
good.
simply
Sounding
from another
good.
settlement.
I think if this is done across all of the quests, or at least a vast
majority of them. That's the thing. Is it going to be like main quest line that has dialogue, or is it going to be all of them? That's another thing, because that matters too.
So, Okos just picked out on something that we very much agree with here. The greatest part of the game in the world is the sound of the forest. So yeah, the sound design in the game.
Oh yeah.
I remember when we hit our first tree, I was just like, oh, this sounds so good, man. It's just awesome. Probably the best I've heard in a long time.
The echo and the reverb is insane as well. Like,
oh no!
Here we go.
Oh no!
Here
started.
We go. 50. Oh my!
Cap's just done it.
Oh,
Cap.
What the? Oh my god! I think it's like.
Now we need Reckless to join and ruin it all.
Oh
they
my
can
god!
get in a little fight.
Where's there's no
You're a maniac.
There's no overlays.
Welcome to the crew, Danneh TBH.
I gotta see pirate gaming streaming production like normal.
Oh my god, I got like numbers over my face as well, and everything's breaking. Guys, if you joined, nice to meet you all. I'm still a bit of an amateur when it comes to streaming, so forgive me. Wow, Cap, man, thank you so much. Appreciate the subs. Very, very, very kind, man. Very, very, very kind. Unbelievable.
Jeez. He's trying to get one up on Reckless, I think.
Well, Cap said he needed to get to the beginning of next month, May, and he's not there yet.
Cap, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Unbelievable. I don't want to move on, but we have to. Thank you, dude. Thank you so much. Guys as well, thanks for the follows. Okay, so back up to the top of the quest update here. I'll turn these off. It's going to be a bit mad. I'll turn them off. I'll turn them off. So the quest of the backbone of New World's narrative experience. Agree. The one thing I liked in the latest PvP update, again going into future and we shouldn't, and I think I spoke about it last week, was the team at New World understand that there's this fine line between hardcore PvP and then the PvE. There's like this balancing act in there between finding the right balance basically, and I think they're trying to do the same with this is the PvE part, essentially making the PvE a bit more immersive and a bit more fun to enjoy. Okay, so there isn't too much to discuss in here, but we'll go through it quickly anyway. So provide consistent activities for players from the moment a new player washes up on the shore, which is what we're gonna lead on to later, Ties.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely.
Through to their journey to level 60, players should have an active objective to complete in a series of ongoing story-driven quests. I know that when we were playing a preview, I think you guys too, we were not very impressed with the quests that were there. It was very repetitive.
It was very go here A to B kind of thing, searching the chests and stuff like that over and over again. It was basically just go loot this and come back kind of thing. There was no diversity really that I could remember.
Ped did alright though. Ped was just picking flowers and hemp.
Yeah, I got my hemp up to 300 gathering.
That's all he's good for though. So.
Who had to bust you out of prison in that silly game you've been playing?
Nobody busted me out of prison. I did my time.
Bubba did his
People
time.
are gonna come in here thinking I'm a convict now or something.
You are.
Yeah, similar feelings through chat as well. Anyway. Yeah, it's proper chat. Sorry for it's popping off tonight. Woo! Highlight special moments and celebrate progression. This again leads into what they've brought up recently with the achievement system. Celebrating progression, which is really nice. One thing I really loved back when I was playing Guild Wars is I wasn't an achievement hunter as such, but when you actually did something good, you get kind of rewarded for it, and it sticks with your character to say this dude has done really well.
Yeah, so with that achievement thing is actually really good, because currently right now in ESO, Elder Scrolls Online, when me and Lucy are playing it at the moment, and we're pretty much end game, and that's basically what we set our minds to at the moment, is just completing achievements and doing stuff like that. It gives longevity as well towards end game. It's stuff to strive for, especially if they do rewards and things like that. Like Elder Scrolls, the way they do it, they do like certain achievements have certain dyes, for example, for your armors that you unlock, and obviously if you're wearing that color, people know you did a certain achievement. That's probably very hard to do. So if they add things like that, I think personally that would be good for me. I'm sure a lot of other people would enjoy that too.
Pet, do you think they'll introduce PvP achievements?
Yes.
Well, yeah, I was just going to say that there's a load of obviously pirate gaming people that will want PvP achievements because then they can wave their EPs around going, "Look at my badge."
I'm the man. Get out my way.
To be honest, I would much rather get a badge for chopping down like 1 million trees. I think that involves effort and dedication.
Okay,
or like
Pen.
Or 1 million fish for tight eyes.
Okay. Well, I'll let you off with that one. That's a nice gesture, to be honest.
No, I think like anything that. Remember, the game ideally wants to cater for as wide a player base as possible, right? Because that's how it will have longevity. So you've got the, because even Tight Eyes, once he gets to level 50 and he gets a bit bored of PvPing, he might go back.
I'll never get bored of PvP.
Yeah, but you'll go back to your roots, won't you? And you'll start RPGing in New World with Nox and Nick.
You're a funny guy, you know that.
Like, it's happening. It will happen. You know it will happen. Come on.
I'll be too busy trying to get you to actually duel me. But
what, with my paper thin? Well, to be fair, I'd probably kick your ass right now based on how things are in the alpha. Probably.
The changes and
I
mean what?
Few people.
Yeah, the changes that we'll get to in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I think that definitely it was pimped in the favour of the fire staff users. The show. Obviously, if you get near me, I'll die because I'll still be made of paper.
Chumbawamba makes a good point here, like talking about like collectibles as well. So if they bring out like a cash shop or any sort of more, not necessarily just a cash shop, but if there are these things where you can get different types of skins for the potentially mounts, or different skins for different weapons, and saying, right, I've got every type of hammer that there is in the game. That's kind of cool as well, I guess. The one thing that I think they will bring out a lot on is the housing. The housing's kind of that leaderboard as well, right? You can collect a lot of things and stick it in the house if you buy one.
Here's my pet peeve at the moment with games, right? And I don't mind cash shops at all. In fact, I like having a shop there that you can buy certain things to make you look better. But the one thing I hate is when a game turns just to the cash shop. Like, I want to still have things in there, like the achievement system. There still needs to be stuff in there that you can unlock from doing like 1,000 woodcuts or something like that. Anything like that. If there's still stuff there that you can unlock, because a lot of games don't do it anymore. And I remember back in the Halo days, like way back, Halo 3, like trying to get all the helmets and stuff like that for your character and everything. Like, that was a big part of the game, and wearing those things, some of them were really, really difficult to get. And I think that, especially in an MMO, is really, it adds longevity to the game itself, but it also adds that factor of showing off certain things,
It's especially if some of this develops, these quest lines become really quite rich quest lines in terms of your how much you have to immerse yourself into the quest line. That becomes quite interesting for a certain player base. If you get rewards from it, that will attract other people that will do the grind just to get the reward, because they just want the reward. They don't want to do the grind, but they're prepared to do the grind to get the reward. So the more content that exists, the broader the player base will be, which will keep diversity is good, right? So it will keep people interested. So I think we're seeing a bit of an evolution, aren't we, from what we got to experience in preview last year, and the work that the studio have been putting in since then, the patches that have been dropping. We know we're going to get to some pretty exciting patches in a week or so's time. So everything is moving in the positive direction, right? I think that's probably the general consensus, even for the Reddit haters.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I guess the difficult thing is if people haven't played the preview and they see it now, they might not be impressed. But to see the changes from the preview to where it is now, it's like 10 times better.
It's huge, completely different game.
It's really
way better. Right. Same game, better game in that sense.
Just for a bit of fun as well, I've put up a little poll to see how many of you guys have actually gone ahead and pre-ordered the game. yeah, let us know if you've pre-ordered or not yet. There's been a few good messages in chat actually, and I think like Chef, for example, says whether there'll be server transfers. I know when we were in the preview that you basically could go to any server, but you had to create a new character on each server.
Yeah.
So it'd be really interesting to see if they let you take characters across server. And I guess for a clan that kicks ass, I was going to say, yeah, a clan that kicks ass, you could take your whole clan from one server to another and start right now.
Yeah. I don't know if I like that though, because like you're gonna get one. You'll have it both ways, right? You'll have it so, for instance, you personally and everybody else in your crew are dominating the server.
Yeah.
Now the whole player base just disappears out of your server, and it's like, well, you know, now you've got to migrate somewhere else. I don't think that should be a thing. I get it, especially for solo players and things like that, if they're getting griefed or whatever, but at the end of the day, it is PvP if you have a choice to be flagged. So I don't think that should come into it, personally.
It's a tough one. You could do the same on I always refer to Guild Wars because that was my life for a long time. But you could do the same with Guild Wars. You could move away and you would find that all of a sudden you'd go from really populated to like, well, not very populated, and you'd lose the whole enemy team, or your entire team would just disappear. 3 or 4 clans would move together and they'd leave. Skunk said they really removed the hit stun from the standard attacks. I think I can't remember off the top of my head what was happened, but I think as a general rule it has been removed, right? But there's still the mini stuns, but not just on. It's like with the hatchet, wasn't it? Every
certain attacks, right? There's like it's like a for the hatchet. I think it's every second attack does a stun or something like that.
There was patch notes about it, but my brain.
Yeah.
If anyone can confirm or deny, that's a good one.
Well, if Greg's still listening, I just want to say I've bought all the merch. I've bought the game on Steam. I've bought the limited edition game on Amazon. I've covered all the bases, and the RNG is not playing in my favor.
Look at him begging for an alpha key.
Someone came in earlier actually and said, "I heard there's an alpha key giveaway here." Mate, that would be the most glorious thing in the world if we could do that. Absolutely.
That would be pretty sick. Marvel run it. I'd obviously never win.
Yeah, could you imagine like 500 people in Marvel run? Okay, so this is kind of cool. They've said that there are new. Well, there's now quest variety, which is what we were talking about. The quests being very, very similar. Yeah, so new interactable items tailored to a specific quest. Now, obviously, we don't know if that's for every single quest. I'm sure it isn't. I'm sure there's the standard grindy quests, but it's nice to know that there's new things coming in for hopefully the main quest at least. You boys can help me pick up anything.
So in my eyes, this might not be the way it is, but I feel like, and I could be completely wrong, I feel like the side quests are going to be very much the same. And the reason for that, I don't think they're just going to scrap all the stuff that they did for the side quests and then redo them. I think the side quests are going to be very much the same, but I think that the main story is going to bring you down different paths and stuff. It's going to be more of a locked-in kind of story, if you get what I'm saying. But I still believe there's going to be those like locational side quests that are very typical in themselves, as in they're very much the same pretty much wherever you go. It's just a different item that you have to get, or a different monster you have to fight, or something like that. But that's not so much an issue, just as long as the main story hits hard enough, if that makes sense. If it branches out enough for it to give enough content and stuff like that. But personally, that's the way I see it. I see the side quests are still going to be very linear in that sense.
How many of you guys with us tonight? How many of you guys played in the preview that many months ago and got us all excited about the game? That's nice. This is kind of cool as well. The improved starting experience. We didn't really get to. Yeah, lots of people. Moomy, Nox, Woo played preview. Sweet. No life there. Yeah. We tried to sort of try hard at the beginning, and luckily enough, we claimed the first fort on our server, so we didn't actually get a chance to really enjoy the starting zone. So maybe that's something we could do in this beta, and just chill out and enjoy for what it is.
We say that.
Talk about the Azov staff, which has now changed, isn't it? It's not just one staff to rule them all. It still is one staff at different levels.
Yeah. 3 tiers, right? Level 1, 2, and 3, I think.
Yes, I believe so.
Narasista says, what's your opinion about forts? Which one is the best?
Ooh. Let's come back to that, because we're going to talk forts just after we get through here, this is a nice short patch notes. So added the voiceover and improved dialogue, which is what we watched a minute ago. We love it. We all think it's fantastic. So good work on that. Hopefully they just keep doing that as they bring out new releases as well, new released areas and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Do we actually know if expeditions themselves, are they quest lines, or are they just an instance? Like, is there actually going to be... I think they said that in the video, right? There's going to be an actual story behind every expedition.
There's probably like a story that leads you to the expedition, but then it's probably down to you if you go in there or not. But I think it's within everyone's interest to get in there and enjoy it.
I think it's a quest line to unlock it, Nox said. Alright. It would make sense.
Introduce new characters, regions, and enemies. The new regions that they've introduced look incredible. So that's Rickwater, bring on the fishing, and Evanskara Reach, which looks incredible as well. Introduce significant
narrative quest lines with unique objectives. Blah 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 blah. Awesome. Okay. Awesome.
What was next to Reekwater? What was the What's the?
Windswood? Or
the one you run through to the east.
Morningdale? No.
What is it? It's the one that had all the broken.
The pirate ship one.
Where you've got like the zombie spirit ghouls.
I know it's wrong because we were talking about last week, because that's where all your quests are.
Yeah.
Remember? All your weapons and armor quests are in that place. Oh
and
gosh, Weaver's Fen. Well done, Lucha.
Yes, good job.
Lucha.
And that was all broken.
Well
like,
done, boys.
The models were all broken. So hopefully that's been sorted out.
Nice.
What was broken?
I put in a load of bug reports because every time I went through Weaver's Fen, all of the pretty much none of the houses had rendered, but they had rendered. They just weren't visible.
Really?
So the model was there, but they hadn't rendered, and all of the ghouls were like floating, and you could walk around, and then you'd find yourself basically floating in the air because you managed to walk up and around the decking around some of the huts. So it was a bit mental. I actually never had that. And submitted them in the bug reports.
I avoided the zone because I was just like, whenever I was in there, it made me sad. It's all like dark. When I was in like Everford, it's like, oh, it's so pretty. So that's the quest notes. So next week we'll go through the next set of quest notes. That's the patch notes about quests, the quest updates. So what we wanted to do now is quickly have a look at this video, because this got released after I made my little video last week. So this is a huge change, or a huge thing that's been implemented.
This is obviously the 5v5 mode, right? Or something.
Yeah. So, I mean, this gives us a taste of what it's like. Or what the combat's like, or if it's changed since you've last played the game. 31 people here, 84% of us have pre-ordered. Nice. So this is basically what they tweeted recently. I reposted this on Reddit, and it was like heavily abused for the combat. I think the main point was this dude here with his the rapier. Or the sword, yeah, basically turns into a fucking tornado and flies across horizontal. And the comments were that it feels out of sync with the rest of the game. Like everyone's there throwing their hammers, and this dude defies gravity for a moment. Down he goes.
I did think that when I first seen that move there, but it does have a place there though. I don't think it looks out of place at all.
Yeah.
To me,
it's a tough one really, because I think I've always been a fan of less magic in this particular game. I've really enjoyed all the sort of medieval games, and there's no magic in there, and then you get a light staff and a fire staff, and that was really cool. Not too much, and then the rest of it was like swords, shields, bows and arrows, and muskets. It felt very medieval war type.
I gotta admit though, seeing that guy, is it a musket on his back and the battle axe?
Yeah, and to be fair, the ice corner's fucking awesome as well, like genuinely awesome. So it goes against everything I just said. It's 5v5. I believe that this is the new territory control point PvP zone thing. So this isn't anything to do with a 5v5 instance or anything like that. This is something where, as Lucho said, you could run in here with 100 people and take it and then leave again.
Really?
Yeah. So this is the area that basically gives you the buffs. Let me just bring up the notes quick on my screen. But do you remember last week? Sorry, go on.
Yeah, I know they were talking about having that, like, forts can be attacked whenever kind of thing, outside of territory wars. I didn't know it was actually the fort that plays a role in territory wars.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be some, like, an outpost kind of thing. You know the outpost screenshots we got?
Yeah. No,
I thought it would have been.
So you basically have the outpost rush, sorry, as I believe is, I don't know, but I believe it's a separate instance where you, I don't know,
so
up or something.
How is that going to work when it comes to the actual territory war? If some, like, say for instance, Syndicate as Marauders take your fort, and then you're in a war later that day with another faction, would you just seemingly have your fort back for that fight, or like?
Yeah, so this it might need a bit of love and attention, but this essentially locks down an hour. I believe, let me see if I can find it, but it said an hour before and an hour after, or something like that, of the of a war essentially. So if we have a war at 5 o'clock, you could come down here at 4 o'clock and check it out and do what you got to do. But yeah,
right.
These will be the forts that are around the map, and they're trying to make use of the forts outside of territory wars because they're bloody awesome. They just need to be put to use a bit more,
Definitely, I agree with that 100%.
So yeah, if someone was to capture Morningdale, like let's say we were going to do an expedition, we would want to capture Morningdale before we do it, or we have a group of 20 go and capture Morningdale, and then because it gives an increase on expedition gold and stuff. Sorry, Captain Man, I love you, dude. Thank you so much for the subs. You broke my Twitch again, but thank you. Love you, man.
Take it easy, Cap.
Turn up, break things, and leave.
So here's, I want the forts to actually have more, just something behind it. Excuse me. So, like, could you imagine we're all chilling out together or something, and for some, even if there was somehow crafting areas inside the fort for the people that owned it or something like that, just to make so you're actually, when you're around Everfall, you're in the fort instead of the city. Do you know what I mean? Because you own it. Like, I would prefer that, because then say you're sat there crafting with a bunch of people, and the next thing it gets attacked, and you're like, oh, let's defend it. You know what I mean? I think, because even in preview when we played, we tried to go to the fort, and I think there was some issues with us trying to get in there. Only some of us could actually go inside the fort off of territory war. I think you could only get in, Dan, right?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, was a bit strange.
Whereas I think it would be nice to have something in there that is usable by the people that own it. And maybe it's unique to having a fort, or maybe it's just crafting benches, the same as what's in the city, but you can use them in the fort. I don't know. But just something to give you reason to hang around it. Because if they're making it like this now, where you can pretty much attack it whenever you want, it'd be cool to one day, if we logged on, we're like, oh, let's go to Weaver's Fen because Syndicate own it, and we know they're all going to be there, so we can have a big all-out war kind of thing over their fort, you know?
Maybe I mean, the buffs for each fort don't seem like much, but maybe, I don't know, maybe they'll get improved or something, because there's a lot of forts now, so unless there's a lot of people on the map, I don't know, maybe it's intended for this sort of thing, you know, small scale, 5 to 10 man.
Are they like open for attack 24/7, or is there going to be a window for when you can attack them?
So these are open for attack all the time, except except territory wars.
Right.
So I think what you're sort of saying, Ty, is it would be pretty cool if you could actually garrison people in.
Exactly. Yeah.
They've got all the amenities they need to actually be able to defend it. So you can have teams that pretty much their job is defending the fort. So that would be pretty cool.
Well, there's that, but I don't mean like just dedicating people to sit there. I just mean
but to have the facilities to allow you.
Yeah, exactly.
Defenders through there.
Yeah, and just making it so that you spend more time in the fort passively doing other things, not just sitting there defending it, but say, I don't know, there was a certain type of workshop there, or a certain merchant even that goes to your fort that you can only get in that location, makes you spend more time there. So therefore, if it is attacked while you're there, you're there already. It's like, oh, and it feels like imagine being inside that fortress, and the next thing you just get a notification or something like, oh, someone's attacking your walls, and then you're like, all right, let's call the boys, kind of thing, and then you get people from outside coming back to the fort, and then you already have people inside defending it. I don't know. I just think owning the fort needs to feel more like you've got this big fortress, you know?
Yeah, if you have a fish restaurant in there, it'll be fine.
Exactly. That's secretly that's my plan.
Do a bit of trading in there, a little trading hub. We could do that. We could spam it on the map, like we're trading in Everfull Fort. Come on in.
But they might flag them if they come over.
I think the idea is there's been a lot of people everywhere you look about New World. It's like, oh, there's no PvP, or there's not much PvP. Everyone's flagged off, and my experience and our experience is the complete opposite. Like we were fighting, Monday to Monday, whatever the dates were.
Oh, yeah.
I think the idea behind this is to try and drive rewards. So, as well as turning on PvP to get X amount of extra XP, you could then go and claim Brightwood because you want, cheaper housing, because you're going to go and buy some houses or something. There was a quick question there about whether it's buffs for the clan or the faction. I believe all of this is for the faction.
The faction, yeah.
It will definitely make for very, you could have some pretty cool height. So imagine, let's say the server, whatever server we end up on, that it's quite balanced in terms of the split between the factions. So there isn't one top-heavy populated faction. That would make for some really interesting, events unfolding on the server, because you could have two factions effectively form an alliance. If you had one faction that owns some good territories and forts, you could have the other faction just go and do coordinated attacks against the forts, and then that single faction wouldn't have the resources to be able to defend all those locations at the same time. So it would have to make a decision which one it was going to basically let burn. Yeah. So it's going to make for some pretty interesting dynamics, potentially.
Nox made a good point there in the chat. He was like, needs to be like drums of war when someone attempts to break into the fort, so that the clan that owns it can teleport to it to defend it. That would actually be legit. That would be a good kind of mechanic itself.
I think it depends
you have to use
on
Azov to get there.
It depends on how long it takes to cap. So if it's like a 2-minute cap, then yeah, it makes sense to be able to get there.
Well,
quick.
I mean,
but if it takes 10 minutes to turn the point from us to them, we could be, quite far away and still manage to just call everyone on Discord. Everyone runs there, put a message in faction chat if we really want to keep it.
Another thing as well is the bombs and stuff like that. You couldn't keep those outside of territory wars, right?
Yeah, you can't.
So
this is just basically PvP 5v5 sort of setup, as far as I'm aware.
So they just walk through the gates, kind of thing.
Yeah, so it's not basically. I think the idea is if you were to claim all of them, you would get a lot of benefits for your faction. Like if you stack them up, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 11 different forts here, with everything from cheap attacks to more money from expeditions to what is it here? Fast travel costs are down. So many things that if you had them all as a faction, oh damn, you are like buffed up.
Yeah, Fuzzy Pom Poms just said, do forts have some basic defenses like gates, couple ballistas and stuff? They do. However, for this, we don't know if they can be used. Like this specific mode here, this 5v5 or 3v3, whatever it is here. For territory wars, you can put up ballistas. There's like mortars and stuff like that, cauldrons and stuff. There's little areas on the wall that you can set them up, but I don't think it's going to be used for the likes of this. If it is going to be like small team-based fights, I don't think. But then again, I don't know, is this going to be a small team-based fight, or is it just so happens that there's only 6 guys on screen right now and there's like 1,000 outside? You don't know.
I'm leading towards that they're pushing this to be like PvP hotspots to allow people to get into some nice small-scale fights outside of the 50v50s and 20v20s.
Right.
But we could come up with 100 people and take this fort if we wanted to.
That's what I'm thinking. So there is the Zerg. The Zerg army could just go around rolling forts.
Yeah, the issue is though, if you take 100 people to one, we could split, 20 people off across the other 10, and you're wasting the time of your Zerg. Basically, you get a nice run around, but you won't hold those points for very long.
Yeah, that's what I wonder. How long can? So if you do like Lujo says, if you cap it, how long is it yours?
I think there's an hour, right?
An hour.
There's no cooldowns. It basically is.
Really?
It's basically a PvP hotspot. So the idea is you can go there, claim a flag, maybe get into a few small scraps, test your skills as a smaller group, and then move on to the next one.
24/7 PvP.
Pretty much, but you probably aren't going to want to be there all the time. I think the idea is if you're questing nearby, you could head over there with your group, take it, head back to your quests, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But
they could do some really interesting stuff with these though, because they could make it so that some of those forts you want to hold on to 24/7, which then means factions are like, guys, we need like permanent people.
But here's the thing.
Defense.
Here's the thing that they need to do, and this could like make or break it for me, is there needs to be a limit on players to capture it. So there needs to be at least 5 people on that point to capture it. I don't want it so that some random guy that's out gathering can just roll in, take it, and then we've lost it for the rest of the night, kind of thing. It'd just be too much managing, I'd say. Like, or maybe that's the idea behind it is, take one territory, hold one fort, because otherwise you'll be running around like a headless chicken trying to capture the forts again because some solo players walked in and just captured it for himself.
Remember, this is a faction thing, not a clan thing. So this should be done across maybe 300-400 people.
Yeah, I suppose.
So for me, I believe the direction is it's purely PvP hotspot. So if you're running around and you're like, right, I want to fight, that's where you're probably going to find it more than running through the woods, catching rabbits or whatever. This will be the place. It could be quite fun as well to get together on an evening with the whole faction and say split across the whole place together and cap it. But I think the thing on this video is good is that you get to see some of the combat, which we haven't really had a proper chance to see yet. You know.
Yeah.
But if it could make for, depending on the bus you get from it, right? Then there could be situations where it's like, if you know you're going to go into a war over a settlement, you go and cap a fort nearby because it gives you a load of buffs for the war.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So one of them here is slightly off topic, is increased volume of items gained when gathering for 5%. So pre-war, if we're going out to farm a load of food to get people geared up for war, we might want to take Windswood because it gives us an extra 5%. And 5% doesn't sound like much, but if that's 5% across 50 people, it starts to add up.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I wanted to bring this up because I thought it was really interesting. Actually, what was there? Look,
Mummy's spreadsheet's going to be massive.
So one thing we see here is actually all the gates are closed. So maybe it's the port in, port out sort of scenario again. But I don't think there's any.
Like it, yeah.
I don't think there's any. I can't see on the walls if there's any siege weapons.
I don't see you being able to use siege weapons for this. I just don't.
I don't think it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love it.
It will be fun though. I'll say that much. Like being able to just be like, after all your grinding and stuff, you're like, all right, I want to get into some PvP. Let's go kind of stir the hornet's nest a little bit and sit at an enemy fort and wait for them to come kind of thing. It'll be good. I think this is a big change that will keep PvP rolling in that sense.
So, one suggestion for us to talk about was what we as a group, and you guys in chat too, would like to see implemented and brought into New World. I'll just catch up on chat. The weapons may be there because they're part of the fort, but like before, you can't use them outside the wall. So as you sort of run in, pick up some mega legendary weapons and fire them in the fort. Interesting. I like that take.
F9 says, do any of you know the rewards you get for killing players? Is it small amounts of XP and money? If so, how much? I think you got it wasn't anything spectacular. You got a little bit of gold and a little bit of XP for every kill, but
fucking honor and glory.
Yeah, there's that. That's the biggest part of it. Just strutting around. Once they're laying there asking for their teammate for a revive while you're beating his head with a hatchet. But I think that in itself though is a good thing because that could also be abused in many ways with people going into different factions and just sitting in the corner of a map beating each other over the head.
The main thing we saw, wasn't it? It was if you've got a really strong faction and you're medium and you really start killing everyone from the other faction, it's a cost to their players, and initially it's not much, right? It's a few repair parts, but then as we found out after we PvP a lot, it starts to become really taxing, and it really takes a lot of your time and energy to keep these repair parts and keep going. So it's basically it's a problem for the player you kill, not necessarily something that you would gain. I don't think. Need some banners.
Yeah, I like what Warstoric said. I do think 100-person company will be on the cards, especially if they scale up the population on a server.
Yeah, it needs to happen.
I think because then, it's almost inevitable, right? Because we found we started with 50 people, didn't we, in Pirate Gaming, the first clan we had on preview, and then within 3 days, there's 4 Pirate Gaming clans because there was massive demand, but we didn't have enough spaces in that first clan that was put together. So I think, an increase in company size will be good. Not in the wars. I think the 50-50 is really cool. I wouldn't want that dynamic to change, but I think having at least 100 people in the company will be really good.
It's a tough one because it does make we have 2 clans and we'd like to add a third, or we pretty much have added a third, but it becomes a logical nightmare for big groups. and that is good, you know, and it makes us really work our asses off to keep it organized. And for the guys that are smaller, you know, smaller groups, it's also great because, yeah, obviously it's 50-50, so you need really a minimum of 25, 30 to control you know, a territory war with your group that you're organized with. But I do think it's good that there are limits, but it would be nice for us. It would be nice for us to have an unlimited clan size because, sure, like it just makes it less pain in the ass. But I think I can see why.
It's gonna happen anyway, though. Like you see it in every game that has like a cap on their clans. They just end up making a second one, and like there's ways around it. It's just, do they want to go ahead and just say, you know what, let's just uncap it? Like there's like, for instance, there's always going to be a cap for every mode, right? Every mode's going to have a certain cap, so why not just uncap it? Like there's no reason, unless it's like a networking thing or like something to do with their servers or stability issues when it comes.
Mate, it's Amazon. It's Amazon.
Well, you know what I mean, but like
yeah.
just the coding in the game itself, like maybe it just won't handle well with over 50 people in a guild list or roster or something.
No.
Just anything.
I just think they've just set a number. No, it's not an arbitrary number, but they've just set a number.
Sure,
it's a deterrent,
like,
isn't it?
Change it.
It's a deterrent to stop Zergs.
You
can't ever stop it, but it's a deterrent.
That's the thing, is the way to stop it is have these modes have the cap. So the cap is 50. You can't go any above that. So why have a cap on guild? I don't.
No, I know what you mean. Yeah, I know what you mean.
I think 100. So like there's what was it, 1,000 population server. So I would only say scale up to 100 if they increase the population of the server, right? So at the moment it's 50 in a company, 1,000 people on the server. If they go to 10,000 people on the server, 100 people company would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, look what happened on our server, right? It went green, and most of the green was us, and then a couple of other Marauder factions ended up owning settlements, right? And the map was horribly green for the most of preview, and I think, you know, like there's it Issy TV saying, I think that we don't want to destroy the server, right? We don't want to find ourselves having to then just bounce between servers to get some action, because we're like the locust, the plague on a server, and we've wrecked the server, and it's like, oh, let's go to another server now and wreck that. We don't want to be that. We want the balance, right? So yeah, I think.
Well, so we said
nice
that
for the breakdown being.
We said that a couple of weeks ago about, like, obviously we don't want to be toxic. Obviously, we're gonna want to own as much as we can at the beginning and stuff like that. But it's all about the PvP at the end of the day for most of us. Like, so, like you're saying there, we don't want people to run off or go to a different server, or bail on the server or anything like that. Which is another reason I don't want like server transfers to be a thing, because people will do that. Like they'll flag themselves up for PvP, and then one day they'll see all of us running around, like our the clip of us on Twitch of about 50 of us just running down the road with each other, and they're gonna be like, oh, okay, there's a massive Zerg in this server, I'm gonna hop over to the next one, you know? Like, I want it to be, I want us to have good terms with everybody, every faction, but also have that fun PvP element to it where it is a bit competitive, you know? Like, because again, people have said things about us being Zergs and not being good at PvP, but to be honest, most of us are very good at PvP, solo or in a Zerg, in a big group. And it's just one of those things where if we have good relations with other people, other big groups in our server, it will make it more fun in the long run, as far as taking or losing territories and fighting for it back and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, it would be nice if they, you know, when you log into a server, if it actually had a population breakdown at the login point, but they cap the population per faction. So like, it's 1,000-person server, you can only have 330 of each faction type scenario. That would be pretty cool, because you know then that there aren't going to be 700 Marauders and 100 Syndicate, you know, and
but
that would be good from a pure balance perspective, because we know that all the changes with the forts and the settlements mean the logistics of actually running your company and running settlements is going to be a lot harder. There is a huge resource burden now on the logistics of actually managing your company. So that makes it harder to hold lots of settlements, but that puts the emphasis on the strategy behind which settlements and which forts you hold, you know, to kind of maximize what you can get out of that server, right? But not end up turning everything green, as an example.
So there's been a couple of like really good points in chat, and you guys are awesome, by the way. I love you getting involved. So hi from France, Rob. Hello, mate, from England. We're all from England. Hello. Izzy said it's not one clan owning a faction. It's not fun. That is kind of what happened for us when we played the preview. Is we took the first territory, and our whole idea behind the preview was to just meet people and have fun. So everyone who said, "Hey, I want to join," we were like, "Yeah, come and meet us. Come hang out on Discord," and it ended up being kind of our faction. What we found out very quickly was that managing 7 territories or whatever it was absolutely impossible. So I think that goes back to the clan thing. If we had 7 clans in Marauders, let's say, or under our own banner as a massive community, then it would make sense to have each clan as an individual clan doing their own thing, and then we come together. But again, that pulls apart you as a community. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's kind of why that's there, is to just make it really difficult to manage big clans and manage big territories together. And quickly here, the point about like one faction being dominant than the other and having Rio says, I think the key is to buff the underdog, not nerfing or dominating the faction. What we found was because we owned more territories than someone else, you would find the other 2 factions would work together against your faction to say, look, you ain't taking all these territories. You need to back off. You know, we want a piece of this as well. So it allows for this really awesome dynamic that one week we could be teaming up with Syndicate, and then the next week we could be teaming up with Covenant, and then the next week they could be teaming up against us, depending on the way the map's looking and the way the territories are sitting. And I think that's good. I think there's a nice balance there. I think there was a nice balance in the preview, but maybe it just needs to be
that whole underdog thing, like adding like buffs or something like that, could end up being very bad as well, as far as messing with the balance of the game. I just think, like Dan was saying there, with the different factions being able to group up and actually fight another faction is probably the best thing for it. Because if we're sitting there owning the whole map, you know, like the other 2 factions are eventually going to have just a relationship there to knock us down a few pegs. So there will be that will be a thing. There's ways and means to actually knock a Zerg down and kind of push them back a little bit. So I
think one way, like certainly whatever server we end up, one way to not ruin the server is we know we don't want to own all the settlements, right? So by not owning all the settlements means other factions get a nice shot. You know, you can divvy up the land. It's just there might be more strategically placed settlements that would be contested more often because we know that they're the right settlements to hold. So, you know, we internally we've been discussing this a lot, haven't we? Because I know there's lots of people that like go hard, own everything, and we're like, no, that would be rubbish. And also, we haven't got enough spreadsheets for that because it would be bonkers. But whereas owning, you know, a couple of strategic settlements and then a few forts are going to be really key. So that in itself will prevent certainly us as a company going crazy. That's not to say that it doesn't mean that other Marauder companies will then start to go and own all the other other settlements, right? But
so a couple of people have been talking about swimming, Dan.
Yeah, I've seen that, man. Yeah. So there is no swimming right now, right? I don't remember swimming.
No, you literally swimming. Just sink to the bottom and walk across.
Yeah.
Which is fair because you're wearing heavy armor majority of the time, unless you're peddler wearing paper. But like,
I bet you just walk in the. There was no swimming. There was no swimming.
Yeah, you just walk under the water.
And I don't want them to put swimming in there because when you walk into the river and the giant croc appears, you're dead. And I like that. I don't like the fact you could run. You could swim. Like yeah, it's quite cool. Unless they give us armbands or something.
I would like a swim mechanic though, and the reason being is what we were talking about earlier, Dan.
Yeah. So Rio has just pulled up on it now. So we have had all the games that we go into. We've been called pirate gaming, and we love the pirates, right? So we've been talking about the maps getting bigger. You've seen it with the release of 2 new zones, and surely there's got to be more, right? Surely. Will they bring in? Obviously, we think they're going to bring in mounts at some point. Mounts, yeah, boring. We would love them to bring in some sort of like port town where you could either build a bloody pirate ship and take it to another port town and have this, I don't know, some sort of naval, some sort of travel system in the water and utilize the sea. It'll be awesome.
What they need to do is buy Rare and then get Rare to bring Sea of Thieves in and then we can go and do pirate battles at sea. And that I think some sex would come out.
Yeah.
So me and Dan were talking earlier, and I came up with this like kind of idea that would actually. Now this is again throwing way into the distance of being like, oh, this, if this could happen. But imagine certain islands or something like that around the mainland of Eternum, and you can now end game craft a ship to go to these other islands. Now these other islands could be in no man's land, kind of like the northern or
sail to another server.
True.
Oh my god.
There's not a thing. That won't be a thing. I'm sure it won't. This is not official, by the way, boys. This is just us.
Yeah, this is theory crafting completely. So say there's an island off. A couple of islands or whatever, and these certain islands are PvP only zones, and there is like the top end materials out there, top end crafting materials, just certain things that you would not find on the mainland itself, and it's just all out chaos. So if there is gameplay mechanics there to actually shoot and fight on the ships, but that would be insane in itself. But then once you get through that, once you get past the sea, then land on the island, it's complete chaos. There's PvP everywhere, kind of thing.
And that leads to the swimming, right? So if our ship gets blown up from an epic naval fight, some of us might be able to swim back to shore and tell the tales of the mega sea fight that we just had.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm with Oko on that. Like, yeah, if they had like. If they made it so that it was like, you had to be level 60, so that would allow you to get the necessary goods to build transport that took you into effectively, like he said, a nullsec in Eve, where it is absolute free for all.
Yeah.
That would be absolutely amazing. Like, that would just be phenomenal.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it looks like you guys are keen on something like that too. I mean, Fuzzy said, didn't they? Say in the future they looked at ships in New Ireland. I mean, yeah, I mean, it would be incredible, right? It would be fantastic to think that maybe a year or even 2 years down the line, we complete the first map. So we've done what we can do, and it gets kind of boring, and then it's like, boom, you can now build ships in the towns on the coast, and you can sail these bloody ships, and it just looks. I mean. There's some really cool naval-based games coming out, and if you could imagine like Blackwake. Do you remember playing Blackwake? You could have 10 of you on a ship, and you can load the cannons and fire the cannons, and just again bring in that sort of outpost rush vibe where there's a small group of your crew again, and you go out and do stuff together.
That's.
I'd pay a lot of money for that shit. Yeah, exactly. It would be amazing.
Exactly. See, you could imagine that being an expansion like way down the line, right? Now just think, a lot of the gameplay mechanics that would need to be in that are already in the game. You have siege weapons, right? You've these giant cannons, just, you know.
Well, the cannons are in the game. Stick them on the boat.
Yeah, exactly. Shrink them down a little bit. We won't care, even if you reuse them. You know, just shrink them down a little bit. Stick them on top of a boat, and we're good. Like, or a raft, whatever works. And you know, we've gotten something there. But I think there's a lot of directions this game can go.
Spiff says Arcade Online naval combat system is good.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
We swapped out from Guild Wars, I think, for a bit to play Arcade, and it was really fun. It wasn't. I don't know why we quit in the end, but it wasn't. There wasn't. I don't know. Whatever, we quit. But the naval side, I remember being fun.
So I think that personally is a good theory craft anyway in itself.
The Outpost Rust PvP experience has resources in it that we can pick up if you get killed into them. Yeah, it would be nice to be able to, in some scenarios, have that droppable mechanic. And I mentioned earlier we've been playing Crowfall, and it's nice to be able to. It's like that semi-hardcore. Do you know what I mean? If you die, you lose your inventory, and you always have to be aware. And it makes it a bit more scary when you run around, and you're like a bit more adrenaline. If you know you get caught, you got stuff to lose, and that might be something that they could bring into this new island as well. But yeah, so we are keen on the idea of some sort of naval, some sort of progress to get to the naval section and then swimming as well. We're with you guys. We think that's going to be good. Company flagship. One other thing that we thought would be really good to bring into the game is more like clan and company functionality. So at the moment, it's pretty basic in the sense of you have your clan and there they are. There's like some basic roles within the clan. Maybe a bit more to do with that. I'd like to see the idea of maybe like you take a town and that town has a guild bank in it. Maybe one or two particular towns has a bank in it. I don't know, something like that would be nice to see a few more.
I think a guild bank needs to happen. They have put trading in now. Okay, so there's actual trading in. I think the last thing to complete it all would be if they just post on Twitter, even right now, Greg, if you're there, then tell us that there's going to be a guild bank, because that would be insane.
I thought it's a tough one as well, isn't it? Because having no guild bank really supports the smaller groups, right? Because they're going to be playing together more. A guild bank, having no guild bank supports them. Having a guild bank supports, bigger groups, because you could just pull resources like mad. So I think for the game there should be no guild bank, because for the smaller groups it'll be better and it will keep them happier.
Dan,
but
please,
for me, I want a guild bank.
Somebody clip that, because whenever you're in the game now next year and you're like, God damn it, I have to hold all these. You're gonna be kicking yourself. You said that. Trust me.
Yeah, I really love the idea of having no trading and that whole. I remember with all of us, like 10 of us would run behind a cabin and we'd all be dropping loot, and then someone will be on the lookout in case a little thief comes and steals our shit. And I really like that. I think it's good that there's secure trading now for sure. But I like that sort of stuff, and I think it's the same for the guild bank. If I want to give you stuff, I'm gonna have to contact you. We'd have to talk, and I think that's gonna be good for. I think it'll be good, but a guild bank would be nice too.
Rio saying should adhere to localization rules, but they could. They could go down the old school crypto route and do like money wire transfers, but you get taxed on the wire transfer to get money to another settlement that's far, far away.
Well, they're doing that now, aren't they? On the new update, is you can take stuff from one settlement to another that your faction owns. So if a guild bank comes in, then I'm sure that would be a thing.
Goku asked, are there different difficulties, like easy, medium, hard, extreme, for those people which like some challenge, and will there be dungeons like in World of Warcraft? I don't think there's any particular, like, I know in Elder Scrolls Online they do actual, like, you've got normal and then veteran dungeons, which would jump the difficulty pretty high. They don't, not that I know of personally anyway, I don't think there's anything like that, but every zone has a level jump. That's the way it was, wasn't it, in the preview?
Yeah.
It's like every zone you went to was like 10. They were like level 10, and then the next zone you went to, they were level 20. next zone 30.
So
and
everyone,
if you have to be level capped to go into the, so obviously if you've got a 5-person group to go into the expedition, is there a, like a level delta, i.e.
yes,
five levels apart, 10 levels apart?
I don't think there's that yet, but there's a minimum level. So you have to be, for example, level 20 to go into Expedition 1, level 40 to go into Expedition 2.
Yeah, but if you had a level 40 person and a level 60 person,
I don't think
go
so.
into the same group into an expedition, how would they? Is that possible? And if it's possible, based on those changes to the XP gain, how will it balance out? Like the level, the group level for the mobs, because if you've got a level 60 person and a level 40 person, and it dropped level 60 creeps, everybody under level 55 is going to get one-shotted.
Word on the street is that it scales. Sorry, Ty. Yeah, word on the street is that the mobs scale to your level. So if you are level 60 and you go into a level 20 expedition, it should be hard. So there should be. I mean, I know nothing how to code, but surely it would say.
But that's what I mean, right? Yeah. So if you were level 60, I was 40, and Ty was 50, and we went into an expedition, and
it should be hard for you.
It spawned level 60 creeps, I'm going to get killed instantly.
Yeah, maybe it'll be like a 58. You know what I mean?
Just to clarify for Goku, expeditions are what you're talking about. They are dungeons that is in New World, basically, kind of like World of Warcraft dungeons. Although I don't know much about World of Warcraft, but I know what a dungeon is. So when we're talking about expeditions, that's basically what we're talking about. It's a dungeon, like an instance that you load into with 5 other people.
See if there's any pictures here, any video. So
Rio says, I hope that's not true. World scaling kills WoW, for example. Power fantasy is that you get stronger, you can get back and destroy the old stuff you're struggling with. Yeah, I agree on that too. Another thing Elder Scrolls does is exactly that, where it scales. So like if I'm level 60 or 160 or whatever, and my friend is level 10, he can do the same content with me unless it's a dungeon. So it makes balancing really weird. Like sometimes in the open world you're like unbelievably strong, but then you'll go into a dungeon with a level 10 and then you'll be doing decent damage but not enough, and it just changes your damage numbers all the time, and it's just confusing to tell where your build is at all, with different balancing for different types of things. So I do agree that it should just be a base level thing.
Just trying to see. I've got this video up here. There you go. Okay, so these guys are level 25 in here fighting this, and the boss that they're fighting here is also level 25. Obviously, we haven't seen any footage from other dungeons, so that's something that we can't confirm or deny yet, whether or how it works. But from what they've said on the website, the idea is that you can't be level 60 and go into a level 20 dungeon and just one-shot everything. It's going to be harder. The puzzles are going to be harder too. So the expedition might completely change for you for your different level, and I think that's good, man.
Just to clarify, I've been called out. Jarl said that is not true. Your ESO DPS doesn't change because of that. So your DPS doesn't change, but the hit points to different things change. Like you could be fighting the same mob in the open world, but then you go into a dungeon, the same mob has 5 times more health. So realistically, it takes longer to kill it, but your DPS doesn't change. So yeah, I was wrong in that. But yeah, go ahead.
We need Staggers back.
Back to prison with you. Back to prison with
me. Staggers, I love the Stagger.
There's a lot. It's a marmite, isn't it? You love it or you hate it.
I love it, man. It reminds me of Dark Souls.
They'll just cap. I think they'll have a level cap on the team that goes into an expedition. That's the easiest way to solve this. So you can only be like 5 levels apart, and then they would just scale the creeps against the total average of your group, right? So you've got level 50 to level 55 5 people, and the average level is 53, and the NPCs scale to fight against a level 53. That would be the easiest way to solve it.
Yeah, yeah.
Nalof asked if there's new gameplay footage. This is the. I'll let my gun back to the crew. This is the one that we watched earlier. I'll just play it from the start for you.
But even see there how he's just walking around while the hatchet's hitting him.
Yeah. So we don't have much gameplay. That's kind of what we've seen, and that was tweeted out by them. Yeah, there's not much out there yet. Hopefully more soon. Yeah. We'll see with the expeditions. I mean, at the moment we know that we can't go up to a high level zone and take 50 people and have level 1 5-star. So that's not going to work. So if they've done that very well, it'd be nice to test it, to be honest. Then I think that the scaling on the expeditions should be good.
Yeah.
One thing that I would love to see when you claim a settlement, correct me if I'm wrong here, it changes from, let's say, a village to a town to I can't remember the names, a city. The names change. What would be really cool, I know that when you upgrade your crafting stations, they genuinely change and they physically look different. It would be nice if the town, I don't know, gets bigger or has more housing or changes the way the town hall looks or something like that. Would be really cool to see. Yeah, the more you upgrade your town, the more everything starts to look better, and not just the crafting stations.
Surely that's in. Surely that's in because the crafting stations change as they upgrade.
Yeah, so they change.
I think that might be the first stage of it. I don't think the actual city changes at all compared to the crafting system, but I'd say it looks like it's something that it's there, right? Like it goes from what is it, hamlet to village to something.
Yeah.
So it's something that they planned on doing. I don't think obviously it would have been in the preview, but I definitely think there is going to be something there as far as when it does go. Another thing I'd like to say on that as well is the forts. The forts did change a very small bit, but I want it to, when you've maxed out your fort, I want that fort to be big stone walls, because it was still wood. It was still wooden pylons or whatever it was, at maxed out. I want that thing to look like a fort. You know what I mean? I want big stone
you
walls.
Want a castle, mate.
I want that thing to.
You want Helm's Deep up in there.
Yeah, exactly, dude. I want it to be like Lord of the Rings going on there when somebody tries to attack it. But so.
Isn't that what's supposed to happen in Ashes of Creation, right? The environment scales as the players invest in it.
Yeah.
So that would be pretty rad. But
I think the way they're doing it though is once a city has evolved to be Utopia or whatever it's called. I can't remember what the last stage is called, but it stays like that for the rest of the server until it's destroyed or something like that. So they said that when you hop to another server, it might look completely different to another server, which is cool. That's very unique in itself.
Yeah, if you definitely Moomy. Strife hasn't read anything about visual. There's definitely the name changes, isn't there? As you upgrade your crafting stations and your fort, the names of your town change for sure. Moomy likes the idea of having a house outside of a town. I think that was back in the day when they had that.
Yeah.
The issue with something like that is that if you've got 1,000 people on a server, you're going to have a lot of houses just dotted around in the woods, and it's going to sort of, I don't know, man, could get quite messy.
Yeah, so you see it with the tents and everything, like the camps.
Do you remember we set up our own little village?
Yeah, you come around the corner and there's just 1,000 camps all jammed into a small space. You're like, what is it?
Love it. Yeah, that's something I would like to see a bit more visual changes.
Unless they did it the way I don't know if you've ever played Fallout 76. It's not a great game, but the mechanics the mechanics that they have on it is like you build this house, right, and it keeps it as a schematic, and then you just place it wherever you want. Like when you load into the server, you place it down, kind of the same way the camps work. And that would probably be the only way, but it's not very appealing because it's like it just doesn't feel right, you know. Yeah. It's like
the thing is they've got time for it to evolve, and they've got time to make those changes, add some cool stuff.
Yeah.
You know, because it's going to take time to start. I mean, we know it's going to take time to upgrade all of the stations. So, you know, just from a pure model perspective, imagine like you've got Eversfall, and once you've, I don't know, so let's say all the crafting stations have reached the, you know, they're all level 3 or something, and the settlement has been developing, it's going to grow in size, right? Because it would look a bit weird if it just became like a high-rise settlement but hadn't got any wider. So then you think the model mechanics of, like, you're going to have to start to change the dynamics of the map, which would be amazing, but that seems like probably like a huge amount of development effort.
Yeah. Which they could do, because as we've seen since preview, like they've,
this is true.
Like the game has changed dramatically. But I don't think that's their vision. Personally, I don't think. I think they've got it set kind of the way they want it right now, and like that in itself would be insane.
Yeah.
But I think it's kind of like our, you know, our pirate ship thing. I don't think that will be. It's nice to think about, but.
Naloff says when a streamer is going to be able to stream New World. I'm pretty sure when beta arrives, 20th of July, is when. Yeah, Peter said when beta comes, we can all start streaming. I'm extremely curious about exhibitions. Do you know about certain drop rates for items on Bossman? We know nothing about how they are now. Nothing at all.
Expeditions are fairly new to like everybody at this moment, so we only know a few things about it. They haven't covered it too much yet.
Yep.
It's going to be about 5 weeks, War Historic, because general release is planned to be 31st of August, and beta is what, 20th of July?
20th of July, yeah. So about a month for sure.
Yeah, 4 or 5 weeks.
What we do know is that there'll be different named items that will drop. So assumingly there'll be slightly different items in the expeditions than there would be elsewhere. So there will be unique items inside the expeditions, which is really cool.
Anyone know how long the beta will last for? I'm pretty sure it was until launch, wasn't it? Somebody said.
Where did you get this guy? Where did you get this guy? We've just had that conversation.
I was in my own little world. Yeah. Sorry, my bad. I was too busy thinking about pirate ships. To be honest with you.
I mean that's kind of. I mean, do you guys have any things that you would like to see implemented in the game?
I just want to see the game released, so I can play the thing.
I just want to play the game right now, right?
Just play the game. Just let me play the game.
Lotus, I need New World now. Everyone is like super excited. I know, and we've been discussing whether the whole delay and the whole thing that they've done is like some mega marketing plan, because there is a lot more hype around the game now than there was back in the preview, right? And although us who knew about it are kind of getting pissed off about it, and you know we really wanted to play it and whatever, there's actually a lot more hype around the game now, especially, you know, them as a studio. People are saying, holy crap, look at how much they've done in this short period of time, rather than
exactly, yeah,
oh, this game's pretty shit, it hasn't got much content in it. So
I think most of the community are happy. That's one thing that I think is so like blows my mind, is everybody's like okay with waiting, right? Like, because they're seeing all this good stuff that's coming out of it. They're seeing, like, they're being very open about what's changing. They're updating us constantly. It's not like Amazon have gone completely dark on it, and it's been like, everybody's like, where the hell is it? Like, come on, give us something, you know? They're doing it right. They're giving people information. They're telling them what they're doing. And people are just sitting back going, holy balls, these are in good hands. You know what I mean? Like, these are in good hands, so I think that's a good thing.
On the flip side, Rio makes a very good point. Like, everyone was incredibly underwhelmed with the game at the preview. We were excited because it was like a new game. We're all playing together. We were like very biased and very hyped about it. But even then, we were still moaning. There's not much to do in here. There's still this. There's still that needs to be done. So Rio's right. You know, so far it's been awesome up until now, but it needs to carry on being this awesome. You know.
Yeah.
And they've done a really good job. Like, no, I don't think anyone had any idea that Outpost Rush was coming or these expeditions were coming. And although it's kind of normal, right? It's a PvP arena and it's a dungeon. You know, they've put their own thing on it. They've done this pretty quick, but yeah, surely they didn't build this since preview, right? Surely this was a thing that was coming, and that's where I'm like, man, these guys are marketing. They know their shit. You know, it's very hard to be a good game in the current market. There's so many out there. So
yeah, but we also like, aside from all of the frustration at the delays and the pushing it back a year and all of that, we probably have to remember that there has been a zombie apocalypse for the
that is true.
16 months, which has kind of screwed the world up slightly. So, you know, you kind of have to.
And that still hasn't stopped them.
Exactly. No, but the point is that, you know, the complications of trying to develop and push a game out when the world is on fire.
Yeah, 100%. But like, that's, I think for me personally, when I see a company in itself using that as an excuse, it's a bad thing. Like, that's
a bit harsh, because like everyone's been through.
No, but I mean, you see it firsthand with Amazon right now. They're still pumping stuff out like it's nobody's business, and they are going through that, and everybody's going through that. But like, they're getting it done. It's not like they don't work on computers. You know what I mean? Like, I get there's certain logistical issues when it comes to that, but I don't think posting that out and being like, "Oh, this is our excuse for not having a polished game."
No, but they haven't. That's what I'm saying. They've not used that as an excuse. We seem to all have just been annoyed at them for not bringing the game out, and we all seem to have forgotten there has been a zombie apocalypse, which has kind of impacted the world, and yet we're like, we just want the game.
Yeah.
True.
I think that's kind of. I mean, I don't know if you guys want to talk about anything else, but that's kind of it from our like content side. While we're here, does anyone have any questions that we may be able to answer? We probably know as much as you guys do. We do have this every week, so we have been talking New World quite a bit. But yeah, if there's any questions, we might be able to answer. Dan did say, Daniel QV said, will they be giving out any keys? We said this earlier. It would be bloody awesome to be able to do a key giveaway, but that's not the way it works. That's right. It's all about the RNGesus giving you the goods,
no,
mate.
It's not because I've basically spent all my money in the last 15 months at Amazon. Bought all the merchandise, and I've got nothing. Nada, niche. Not even a baseball cap.
What options are the weapon-wise for healers? The life staff.
What options are there?
Life staff or a band-aid.
I'm pretty sure the life staff has been completely reworked now. So if you're going healing, you would.
There's a lot of quality of life. Yeah, there's a lot of quality of life there for you.
What would you? I mean, I don't think we know what we would put with that next. Actually, someone sent me. I don't know if he's still in chat, but someone sent me this earlier while we were here chatting. Someone has put this together. I don't know if I'm even allowed to show this. I don't know who sent it to me, but I think it's on Reddit. So it's on Reddit, so it's live. It's not me. But someone's put this together and basically come up with the idea that there might be more weapons coming. I don't know if I should be showing this. I don't know what it is, but someone showed it to me. So there could be more weapon slots coming, and the idea of more things in the future, which I think is really cool. So again, not sure if I should show that, but it's there. It's live on the internet. It's not me. But they've suggested that behind one-handed weapons or two-handed weapons or ranged weapons, that there's more that can come into it, which I think is very cool. So potentially by the time the game launches, there'll be more weapons behind healing
Yeah.
And that sort of things that would marry up with a life staff, basically.
I think Sword and Shield also has a healing ability now too, right? It's got like that stalwart that you put down and it heals like in an AoE. So there's that too.
Jar says, how do they plan to balance the factions to make it fun for all factions? So I know that there's new quests out for factions. That's got nothing to do with balancing. I know. I don't know why I said that, but there's new quests out for factions. And we were talking about this earlier. I think if one faction takes the lead and is completely overpowered, I think it's down to that server to basically come together and, work against the other faction. And that's the only way I think at the moment it can be balanced, is that it's all about teamwork, really, and creating alliances with your enemy to beat the stronger enemy. Huh. Hot take, but I work in software development and esports, and working from home has literally doubled our production speed. Awesome.
There you go. See, people thriving in it.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that they haven't. I work in a business that has been exceptionally successful during the pandemic. But what I'm saying is that doesn't take into consideration the impact to the individual, right? So yes, production might have improved because people aren't commuting, etc., etc. And it depends on your organization. If it's like digitally native, if it's not, there's a million different factors that play into it. But just from a pure logistics perspective, things have suffered globally, right? Because you can't even get a bloody GPU, and Nvidia have stopped producing them. The 3080 Ti should be out now. That probably won't come out until next year because they can't fabricate enough chips because there's issues with getting silicon. So there's issues everywhere, right? But
there is.
They haven't used it as an excuse, right? I'm just saying they haven't.
No, that's what I'm saying. They haven't, and that's a good thing.
Immaculate said here as well, obviously, of the news that Lord of the Rings is not being done by Amazon now. They should and will hopefully have some more team members that, in theory, could go to working on New World rather than another project.
No, they definitely are, because that was in the announcement.
Yeah, I haven't read it.
AGS devs that were working with that other software to develop have come back to work on New World, while Tencent has nabbed that software house.
I didn't know. Oh, awesome. Well, good shit. That's awesome.
Yeah, more peeps.
More
Nocturnal.
peeps
Has anyone in the chat been blessed with a key? A front door key is about as good as I've got.
Envy would like to see more auras. I don't know. I think there's a few coming out in there, but I love the whole sword shield vibes. Bit of chivalry in this, just Mount and Blade vibes. Taking it back to basics. I like it. You can look really scary and see that weapons have not been released yet. So yeah. Fingers crossed, new weapons, and I personally would love to see them staying with the medieval combat vibe.
Here's another thing as well. Actually, legendary weapons, they need to be unique. Like, I know skills wise, they do look. I mean, they will look pretty unique, but I want them to look like a legendary. If you know what I'm saying, like they've got to. They gotta have some. Yeah. Because I think when we were in preview, we got a couple of them. They looked basic. They looked very much the same as the one that we just switched it out with. The only difference was they had a certain stacked skill on them. So
he's definitely not official New World Switch.
Wait, what was that?
I think isn't there already another in the Ice Gauntlet?
Missed you there, Ped. Cut out. What did you say?
Mummy's just asked about another magic source. Oh, like lightning. I don't know. I mean, fire. We've got ice. The world's their oyster. They could go earth. They could go lightning.
Please don't.
Oh, I see Dark's message. Is this the official New World Twitch? Yes. No, man. Every Wednesday night we do our little show. It's turned into a show. It wasn't really a show. Originally, before, it was just to get together for our company and just chat in New World. Since then, we've kind of had some really lovely support from the New World community, and kind of here we are. But when New World comes out, we'll be streaming it from a company point of view and also doing the updates still. But myself, Ped, and Ty are all going to be streaming New World, yeah. So keep in touch, man. It'd be nice to see some of you guys when the game comes out. So someone mentioned earlier, which I thought was an interesting one. Last one, New World said, talking about the faction imbalance. He just said, no, everyone will just go into that faction, the faction that's winning. It's a tough one, because if you change faction, you have to delete your character, right? You cannot have two characters on one server, as far as I'm aware. So depending on how far, hopefully it's very balanced until most people are high level, then it's going to be a real pain for that person.
And also, there is weapon binding and gear binding in the game, so it's not like you can be like, oh, well, I'll just grind my character back up to 60 and I'll trade all my stuff over to my friend and then he'll trade it onto me, because you can't do that neither. So it's going to be like very much like you make a character, it's an MMO. Like, imagine putting hundreds of hours into a character and then being like, oh, my faction is kind of being overrun. Well, I guess I'll change, I don't think people are going to do that.
I was going to say, with the legendary things there, I'm hoping that you can craft legendary.
Yeah, I thought that was the point, right? You get your master craftsman, and they can craft you legendary weapons that have very unique attributes that you don't get from drops.
There is those, but there's also the named drops from things like expeditions and stuff like that, which I'm taking as legendaries. I guess they are, or maybe they come in different rarities, but I don't know.
Yes, drops, like legendary drops, are amazing, but the idea of making like the ultimate legendary weapon from getting a legendary drop, but then giving it to a master craftsman to work some funky stuff with it to give you a weapon that has really unique legendary attributes, I think that would be sick. Because then you have to use all the game mechanics. You don't just go and do a end level boss and get the drop. You need the end level boss, and then you need the master craftsmen and craftspeople in your company to be able to then, whatever it is you do, refine it down and then produce this insane legendary weapon. That would be awesome.
Be mega. That would be mega.
AGS tweeted the show.
Yeah, that was really cool, man. It's really lovely to have some support, and we've tried not to swear this whole day. We've tried. We've tried. Okay, we tried to keep this to an hour. We've definitely overrun today. I know it's getting late for some people. Yeah, so kind of some housekeeping. Tight Eyes and Peddler, do you want to write something in chat? If you guys are more than happy to support us, give the boys a follow. We're going to be playing this together. Spiv, if you're there as well, give us a shout. The glorious Spiv's going to be playing with us too.
Apex type for president. I'm liking that.
Keep in touch with us. It's been really awesome to meet some of you guys as well. We basically have run up our Discord as a clan Discord.
I need a beard. I had a beard. I had a bigger beard than Danneh.
Our Discord is open, so you can log into the Discord, hit the New World role, and come and chat and hang out and talk New World, and yeah, we'll be around. I don't think there's anything else really. Been posting quite a few. If you wanted to keep in touch with what we're up to, been posting a few of the updates as videos on YouTube. I'm still a bit of a noob, so I'm learning as I go. Even though I'm supposed to be a filmmaker for real life, I'm still learning things here. And apart from that, if you guys are up for it, I can see Kim. I've sat in his chat a few times while he's been chatting, talking New World, and he's actually running through some preview footage. We could run in there together and say hey and give some love on a big New World front.
Look, beard. Can you see the beard?
Look at that eyebrow raise, huh? Look at the eyebrow raise.
Well, let me see.
Oh,
mate, you look beautiful. Get that out, mate. Bring that back.
Beard. Hey, that was,
you know what?
That was 9 months ago, Apex.
You know what, Ped? Just leave that on anymore. Just stick that face on anymore. Will you?
Oh, there's a few chats here. Kronos says, when it comes to playing on a server you're overwhelmed by another faction, people were 100% wrong. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's one of those things. And I was just mentioned earlier that we're hoping that the way it works is that for the majority of the first... I'll just look at chat. I bless you with a key, good sir. The majority of the first few months of release is very even on your server, because that should hopefully make at least a huge part of the population keeping it even. And then to move factions, you're going to have to delete your character, which hopefully people will be put off by. Goku just says here, do you know about customizing armor? I think that's kind of what we're talking about with the weapons, right? If you have some awesome armor, you want it to look awesome, then there is potentially going to be a cash shop where you can buy your cosmetics. I don't think that's been confirmed anywhere, but we're hoping that that's the way it is, right? Because it's a buy once game at the moment. So surely they need to get our money in other ways. Mate, Chrono, dude, it'll be epic. It'll be epic to be able to like do some. Last week we gave away 2 copies of New World, from a great friend in the community, and we did it all through the marble run, and it was mega fun. But unfortunately, I am not the RNGesus that you're looking for. Yeah, so on that note, Ped, tight, love you dudes.
Yeah, man.
We'll be on our Discord hanging out if you want to come chat. New World.
Welcome to the crew, Chief.
Chief with the
subscribe.
Right, baby.
Right, I'm in there.
Woohoo! I'm sad Captain it come through. It completely just didn't play. Yeah, guys. See you next week. We're gonna go for a raid on Damone's channel. Give us a follow if you can. It'll be awesome to see you again. Take it easy. Big thanks to New World for tweeting this. It means a lot. It really does. Let's go and say hey. Prepare your spam, boys. Prepare your raid spam.
Get ready to launch the raid, boy.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Take care, guys.